Let's see. Okay, there we go. For some reason, it didn't automatically go through with what I was saying. So I was going through my camera and it didn't tie it up into my camera. So I apologize for that. Now I will go back and read what I was originally reading. Sorry about that. So back to I was originally reading, and I'm not going to go all the way back to the History Channel's version because that was entirely swung too far left, and they tried to switch around. But Second Amendment states a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Now, the left target on it should only be for militia because militia is the first thing that stands out. But what they did not notice, or they tried to believe, is it says the right of the people. Now, if it was just towards militia, it would say the right to a militia to keep and bear arms. But it says to the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Now, they will try and argue this point, but the flag behind me states something totally different. And George Washington, as you can see, is at the bottom of this flag. And you can Google this. This is 100% real. George Washington did say these words, and I will read it because you guys may not be able to read it as well. A free people ought not only to be armed and disciplined, but they should have significant arms and ammunition to maintain a status of independence from any who might attempt to abuse them, which would include their own government. So even George Washington knew back then that there was a possibility that the government itself could and would try to disarm us. That's why it was put there. And like I said, you can already see which way I lean to. My shirt says guns, whiskey, trucks, and freedom. Um, but when I watched the whatchamacallit yesterday, and I'm going to have to edit this video where I have no sound too, so that should be fun. Or who knows, I might leave it up and just put it in there. Fast forward till where it comes in. But I was watching Biden's announcement on Tuesday where he says he wants Congress to ban assault weapons. You can do that. No, you can ban all guns. But I'm going to tell him a little something here. We can go back to a few years ago where a guy in China mass murdered 16 people with a knife. Anything can be a weapon. Anything. But when you want to start disarming innocent people, and then you have a problem. And I have a problem. Because I don't see where innocent people like me are the problem. Bad people are going to get them. It doesn't fucking matter. It just doesn't. You want to try and shut down something? Go after the black markets that are out there. There's hundreds of them. On the streets of Chicago, I could probably pick up an AK-47 way cheaper than what I can pay for it at a gun store. And that goes the same way as an AK, SKS, Uzi, stuff, the fully automatic stuff I ain't even allowed to have, I can get a hold of. But you're going to tell me that it's easier to pull assault weapons. Well, yeah, it only works for the actual gun owners that actually law abide. See, that's where you Congress people get confused because law-abiding citizens are exactly what we are. You're going to put a gun control on people that have yet to abuse the power of any law that you put in place. But you are willing and able to do nothing to the people that are getting them illegally. You do nothing to keep them from coming across the border. You do nothing to keep them coming in from Florida land, from Cuba, Japan, wherever. And tell me I'm full of shit, but I can go on the dark web and they are actually listed on there where when I purchase, that gun will go through 100 hands before it gets to me. 100 hands before it gets to me, and the supplier or the guy delivering it will contact me directly. Now you're telling me that I can't do any of this? I've done plenty of research, and you're telling me you can't do any of that to figure out how to stop it. And as for militias, you guys bring up, that's why the FBI has militias labeled as terrorist organizations. That's why a majority of the 3%ers, there really ain't any, because you have them labeled as a militia because they do bad things. Well, yeah, probably because they do bad things because you have them labeled as terrorists. But what about Antifa? Do you have them labeled as terrorists? Hell, they ain't even on your watch list. I guarantee it. And they are right here. They're everywhere. But we do have a 3%ers chapter of Iowa. We have a 3%ers chapter of other states as well. And no, I'm not a 3%er. But I do like the flag. But I just wonder where they get these ideas at. Like gun-free zones, like schools, really? This is a different time frame than when I grew up, but my neighbor used to bring a gun to pick up his daughter every day. And the teachers used to be like, I feel so much safer knowing that's in here in case something was to happen with an angry dad or someone tries to steal a kid. They always felt better that he was there. So now, gun-free zones do nothing but protect the criminal. That's all it does. And that's all I keep thinking about every time I see no gun-free zones, gun-free zones. Like, really? You know, I carried in Walmart in my town here a while back, and I had a mom and her daughter was there, and the daughter asked me, "Mom," well, didn't ask me. She asked her mom, Dad. Sorry, guys, my mind's going 100 miles an hour. I've had way too much coffee today. So the little girl asked her mom, "Why is he carrying?" And the mom, with a straight face, said, "Because if anything happens, he will protect us." And she goes, "Will you?" And I said, "Yes, I will, because that's why we carry." And it made me feel good that a mom understood. But my question is, why is it that when everybody sees a gun, their first instinct is that that person's going to do something bad or that person's going to do something evil? It's stereotyping, and stereotyping has become more of a way of life than anything we've ever done or anything we have done in the past. When you look at stereotyping, what is most of us do? We do it at our jobs every day. You see a new hire or a new employee, you're like, oh, he ain't gonna make it a week. He ain't gonna make it a month. So we're stereotyping right out the gate, guys, every day of our lives. Exactly, discrimination of a way of life. And most of it is a big stereotype. And that's it. We stereotype every day and we don't even realize it. When I was in speech class, and don't get me, this was stupid. I was in college for auto body and I had to take speech. And, I would get it because talking to public relations, you're in a lot of places, right? You see a lot of people. But this was a different type of speech. I thought it was like standing up in front of a class. Nah, no, 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 no. He gave us all one task. One. And this was the first time I was ever introduced to stereotyping. Was in college. And he wrote down priest, mechanic, cop, Hispanic, African American. He gave a list of random people. White boy. And what's your first thought when you see a black guy? Or what's your first thought when you see a white guy with baggy pants? Or what's your first thought when you see a priest? And I was shocked by some of the answers that were in that class because I've never thought that way a day in my life. I was brought up, we all bleed red. You don't judge unless you want to be judged. This is how I was raised. And I see the world that we live in now, it's way different than what it used to be. Way different. You know, my generation growing up in my 16 years old, we were outside playing football and stuff like that. Get it? Elaborate for me. What do you mean? Some people cannot choose to be born a certain way. Like elaborate. Like definition. That's what I'm saying, you know, and that's why I look through that. I was raised to look through that. And I think that's the biggest part of our society is that stereotype is there and it shouldn't be. Because I was never raised, you know, to call somebody by the color of their skin. I was never told to do that. I always called them by their name. Like we had a guy growing up. He was my best friend named Damien, and I never looked at him as, you know, hey, look, the black kid or something like that. Never looked at him that way. Never even crossed my mind, even in high school, to look that way. But this day and age, they're teaching you to look that way through stereotype. One of the other things that, like I said about growing up is, you know, Montbeer, how old are you by chance? Just, you don't have to tell me the truth if you don't want to. Just how old are you? Because I'll be 36 in 2 months. Okay, so you're around the same age I am. So you were probably raised similar to me in a way. So for me, it's easier to look past all the negative in life, but any more negativity and cruelty is all that's running rapid. Like, I don't know. I don't know. It just everything's weird anymore. It's nothing like it used to be. I know times change, people change, but I remember being 16 playing football with my friends. I mean, come on. My nose is still broke from when I was 16 years old because I fell into my brother's knee trying to catch a football. And I don't remember anybody and 16, 17 years old trying to figure out what bathroom they're going to use or what sex they're going to be. We knew. It was just, I don't know. It seems like this whole new generation's weird. And people thought my generation was going to be the downfall of society. Or your generation would be the downfall of society. And quite honestly, it's the other way around. It's not ours. It was after, way after ours. But it's just sad to know that George Washington even knew that at one time our government was going to try and do this. This he was so ahead of his time, he looked to the future. And I don't know how he did it, but he did it. Maybe. Or maybe he was a visionary. And there's a lot of those, but he knew. He knew that a day would come where the government would try and take our right. And they are trying. Through every loophole they can come up with, every gun ban, every gun-free zone they passed. The gun-free zones were actually there to try to help disarm us to where we couldn't have our gun on us. Well, but once again, the gun-free zones only work for the law-abiding citizen. It doesn't work for the one that doesn't care. How's your gun-free zones doing in your schools there, bud? People want the people look for Big Brother to help them. What they don't realize is Big Brother is to blame for the problem. Biden said in that statement that one of the parents of the Texas shooting at that elementary school said they need better gun reform. Really? I think your teacher should have a gun in their desk. Anybody comes in the classroom with a gun, shoot first, ask questions later. That's what I would be saying. You can't fight stuff with legislation. It doesn't work. That's why Iowa's governor said, screw your ban. We don't have to obey, and we won't. And that's why he's trying to do a national ban. That's what he's trying to do. But the states can still veto the national ban on their end because every state has a right to regulate their own laws. That's why Iowa regulated theirs to go to open carry. And then you have some sanctuary cities that reformed also their own. All I know is it's going to come down where we're going to fight a losing battle to where either we're going to be forced to hand them in or fight when they try to come and take them. And I think that's the only reason why they haven't tried to take them yet. I don't know how many of you remember when after 9/11 happened and we first announced the war in Iraq and Afghanistan. When all the Facebook posts came out, well, that time was MySpace, where we have 1.2 million gun owners that's dying to shoot something rather than deer. Come on over. That's a true statement. That's an army of its own. There, you don't need a militia. You add up how many gun owners are in every state. Just Iowa alone is a lot. Actually, let me see if I can find that actual number up and I might be able to tell you. So this is the gun ownership in just Missouri is 27.1. 20.1. I don't know if that's thousands or what. I'm pretty sure it's probably by the million. So the highest gun ownership as of right now, this is in Montana, is 66.3% of adults. Iowa and is I'm pretty sure it's 27.1 million. I think that's where they're going with this because that don't make sense in any other way. So the journal surveyed, so we're going off a survey here. There's over 4,000 adults across the country to see which state has the highest number of gun owners per capita, also known as gun ownership rate. Okay, it's going by percent. Below the national average of 29.1. So Delaware has 5.1%. Rhode Island has 5.8%. New York has 10.3%. So these are, as New York is a big city. So for me, 10.3% is a very low number because how much of those are not registered? Like Iowa, you don't have to register your firearms. So I don't know about New York with gun laws. New Jersey's 11.3, New Hampshire's 4.4%, and Connecticut has 6.6%. Ohio has 19.6, Nebraska 19.8. California really and Maryland really only has 20.1 and 20.7. I'm going to call California's BS. How, like I said, how much are unregistered or how much are actually floating around on the streets that no one knows about. So I will call California's bullshit. Illinois is another one I will call bullshit, 26.2%. Yeah, whatever. Again, bullshit. So Iowa is at 33.8% of males have firearms. Kansas 32.2, Arizona 32.2, Georgia has 31, Oklahoma 31, Virginia has 29.3, Wisconsin at 34, South Dakota at 35, Texas at 35, Minnesota is at 36, Nevada 37. Holy shit, Tennessee at 39. Your southern states have the most. Kentucky 42, Mississippi 42, South Carolina has 44, Louisiana 44, and Hawaii has 45. North Dakota has 47, Alabama 48, New Mexico 49. Again, I call bullshit on New Mexico because how much of those are not registered? Montana and Wyoming are 52 and 53. West Virginia is at 54. Idaho has 56. Wow, they're high. But Arkansas has 57. Alaska, really? 61.7%? Oh, a few years old. Yeah, 2015. Why'd they put that all the way down at the bottom? I literally read that for nothing. Well, okay, that was a waste of my time. Let's get a more accurate reading. I don't. Sorry about your luck. I don't support background checks. Do you support background checks, Montbeer? When it comes to gun ownership? Just a thought. Because to me, background checks are a waste of time. I mean, how far back can you really go? Medical? If it was up to the psychiatric person, nobody would have a gun. Um, well, the background checks are your background, like criminal, misdemeanors, certain things like that. pretty much they're wanting to start going off of, instead of just felonies, they want to go off your misdemeanors. They want to go off of your whole criminal past, regardless if it was non-felon or just anything you've ever done that was bad is what they want to get. They want to base off of it. Well, the thing is, with a stricter background check, it doesn't do much. Now, fair enough. See, what I think they should have done, this is just me talking, and I brought this up before. I think if you want stricter gun laws, fine. But you want to do it right. Make every gun owner have a psychiatric evaluation every year. Problem solved. Because that'll take away your plea of temporary insanity right away. Because you already have the report that he was fine this day last year, but he ain't okay this year. Sorry, Charlie, not adding up. If you see where I'm going with that. Exactly. It doesn't stop bad people doing bad decisions. It just doesn't. That's what I was saying about the safe places. It just doesn't stop nothing. You can do any gun law you want. Bad people are still going to get the guns because they're out there. They're on the black market at a way cheaper rate, and they're fully autoed, something I'm not even allowed to have. And if you want a full auto, I wish you luck, because I don't want to spend $200 just for the paperwork and another $300 for them to process it just to deny me. So that's $500. And then there's taxes on there too, even after you do it. And you got to have a good reason why you need it, why you want it. And it's bullshit. It's straight up bullshit. Because somebody thought it was a pretty good idea. Wow. Let me see that. So this is something I had a. That's what I was wanting to see. Wow. So this is who cannot buy a gun and alcohol. Now this is stupid. I've never read this before, so I'm reading it now. Convicted of a felony against state law. We knew that. Those addicted to alcohol and any dangerous substance. Didn't know that one. Those with pending law charges under their name. Didn't know that one. Fugitives or those who have been arrest warrant in the state of law enforcement database. Those who have a court order that prevents possession and transportation of firearms. Those who are under probation or have been convicted for a misdemeanor that involves the use of firearms. Those who are involved with the use of firearms unlawfully threaten someone's life. Involved with the use of firearms unlawfully threaten someone's life. That's funny. Those who refuse to undergo a background check, federally licensed gun dealer. Those who do not meet the Iowa gun law requirements. So, I'm going to reread that real quick. Those who are involved with the use of a firearm unlawfully threaten someone's life. Well, let's see. Doesn't that go on somebody being threatened and you intervene? Uh-huh. Wow. I don't know. That is nuts, what I just read. That is completely fucking crazy. You're telling me I could lose my gun rights for from trying to stop somebody from harming another person by using my gun and pointing it at them in a way to make them stop would get me in trouble for that? Where was that in my freaking gun safety class? Because that should be a topic for everyone. I did not know that until I just read it. Quite literally. If you threaten somebody with your firearm, you can lose your right. And what the? So you know what? They're pretty much telling you right there. If you're gonna pull it out, just pull the damn trigger, because you're gonna get in the same amount of trouble regardless. Which is pretty much what the stand your ground law actually stands for, anyways. But holy hell, that is just ridiculous. Huh. Now I'm getting tired. It's only 12:43 p.m. I just can't get over that. It's freaking ridiculous, man. I really cannot get over that. It just blows my mind. Wow. I do carry a gun anyways. All right, that's all I have for this topic for right now. I got to get ready to go to work or else I'd continue, but I kind of can't. But Mont Beer, have a good day. I'm going to hop off here and get ready for work. So I'll holler at you later. I'll try and get back on maybe tonight and get back on this. Because, man, I'm learning a lot. And I don't even, man, that is fucking nuts. Iowa, really? Not a problem, buddy. Have a good day, bro. Oh, almost forgot.
We'll be right back after a brief message from our sponsors.
That's right. The official sponsor of Highway 34 Connection, the podcast, is Dubby Energy, a clean energy to help you be better. Dubby Energy. Try it today. Hey, it's the Chief from Highway 34 Connection and Chief_streaming. Check out officialchief34merch.com for all your merch for Highway 34 Connection and Chief Streaming.
If you're interested in buying merch from Insidious_streaming, stop by my spread shop where you can find everything you want and need. Thank you and have a good day.
Now back to your live podcasting here at Highway 34 Connection.